Yeah, so I work mainly as an instructional designer and a technical trainer, and I will be hopefully encouraging you today to not bury your ideas. Okay, so actually each and every one of the people in this room has the single most powerful force known to man. This is the force that will send rockets into space, that will transport video and audio through thin air, and will actually guide that tiny little camera straight through your intestines. Each one of you has an idea. You know, it actually might be a great idea. In English, you'd say, it's the next best thing since sliced bread. But was sliced bread the next best thing since, I don't know, the light bulb? Actually, back in 1912, when it was first invented, it wasn't. It was only 1930, when Wonder bought this idea, that sliced bread hit a mass market. But why? What changed? The invention itself didn't change, nor did the market. What changed was the way it was being presented. In other words, the success of your idea depends on how you present it. So if I can offer you one tip to delivering a good presentation, I tell you to put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Why the audience? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. This, by the way, is a great way to overcome stage fright. So many times when I have an idea, it's visually described as a light bulb lighting up above my head. And I think that's wrong, since when I have an idea, all there is above my head is a bulb. It's not lit yet. I need to first communicate my idea. Until I communicate it, it's powerless. But when I communicate my idea to you, when I present my idea to you, and you identify with the need, you understand the proposed solution, and you believe it is feasible, only then do you give me your power, only then does that bulb above my head actually light up. So if I'm putting myself in your shoes, I know that some of you are now asking themselves, why should I listen to this presentation from him? And within this question, there are actually 4 elements that I will need to address in my presentation. Why him? Why me? Why listen? And why presentation? So let's take a look at each and every one of these elements. Let's start off with why him. You want to be convinced that I'm the most suitable person to present this topic. You do so by assessing my appearance, my credentials, my experience, my verbal skills, and charisma. And so I realize that before I even start off with my presentation, before I even start off with selling my idea, I'm first selling myself. So I actually woke up this morning and put on my nicer shirt. And I'm going to share with you that my experience includes over 5,000 hours of public speaking. I will also, despite that small little clock, try to speak a little bit slowly and in a clear way. Next, some people here will be asking, why is this important? Why should I care? Why does it matter? Simply because before I even get to the what and the how of my presentation, of my idea, I first need to establish the why. And each and every one of those why questions is subjective. Each and every one of the people in my audience want to know that this idea of mine is relevant to their experience and to their world. You know, we live in a world of distractions. The minute I drift away from my main point, from my main idea, you will drift away to whatever it is on your mind. Your emails, Angry Birds, the stock market, the kids that you forgot to pick up from school, or the meeting you just came from where everybody was killing each other. And so I realized that in my presentation, I need to get to the point very quickly, and I need to stay focused on my point. If you realize I've done so, if you realize I'm doing so in my presentation, you will stay focused on my presentation and on my idea, because you realize that drifting away to anything else will jeopardize your understanding of my idea. You know, there's no such thing in presentations as one size fits all. I must tailor my presentation specifically for my audience by combining the right amount of visuals, adjusting the level, including relevant terminology, and maintaining a pace which my audience will be comfortable with. The more I invest in my presentation, the higher the quality of my presentation, the higher the value. And the higher the value, the more my audience will be expected and hopefully will be willing to pay. How does your audience pay you? They pay with their attention. They listen. If I was able to master these 4 elements in that basic question, I sold myself, I explained the relevancy, I got to the point, and I invested a lot in my presentation, I may have just made a remarkable presentation, which is a great word. It doesn't just mean wonderful. It means you'll remark about it, and word of my idea will spread. I want to share with you a remarkable presentation I once saw. This is Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, and believe it or not, he took flying lessons. His flight instructor told him that when landing with a crosswind, you will actually drift lower from your landing point, so you must aim higher. And Viktor Frankl said the same thing can be said about life. There are so many crosswinds in life, and we must always aim higher in order to reach our true capability. And so I ask of you, don't stop dreaming the unimaginable. Don't stop planning the impossible, because that's the only way that you will continue to craft and design all of our futures. And back to sliced bread for just a moment. You know, it took the inventor 16 years to sell his idea. 16 years. That's 10 million minutes during which he could have admitted to defeat and buried his idea forever. But he didn't. And we have yet to come up with a better idea. And so I ask you not to bury your ideas, not to stop believing in yourselves or in your ideas. Pursue them, present them, and do them as best as you possibly can. Thank you very much.